Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. And today I want to discuss something that everybody, even every human being, has been experiencing on their daily life, and this is called a beginners. I guess some of you know what a beginners is, so I'm just gonna give a little definition of what is a beginners. So, according to the research and the psychological journal, a beginners is a state of a mind which creating the inconsistent thinking and thought in one person's decision-making process. So to make that simple, a beginners is inconsistency of the way of thinking that which make you confused about what your decision making should be. So when you have a beginner's thought process at a time, you will find yourself in a very confused, sometimes in not a bad situation, but confused and a little like not be able to make a right decision during that time. So basically, we can say a beginners is the one of a state of mind which you are not able to make a decision. You will have to double cross in a different scenario and to make that decision, which you are not quite sure the consequence of that decision, and you will not quite sure why you want to make that decision. So that's when a beginner's thought process come in. There's a lot of way to explain about a beginners. During my work and my career, I deal with a lot of people who have substance abuse, and those type of client does tend to have a lot of beginners thought process because they're not quite sure the benefit of quitting smoking or quitting drinking. So then they will develop some kind of a beginner's thought. They have to find out and weigh in to see the consequences of continue to drink and the consequences of not drinking. So but in a human being, like in a normal human being or in a normal human world that which we're living, we also come across a lot of beginners self processing, especially when making a big decision in relating to your life, your relationship, your family, financial information, buying something or just make some kind of social interaction with people, you still encounter so many beginners thought process at the time. So when I give examples, so certain time when you have to make a big purchase or you have to make a big decision regarding to the financial situation, then you will come into with a lot of beginners. For example, if you want to getting a car, then you have to find out about the finance. You have to see if that payment goes through correctly. You have to see will you be able to pay off that payment and car payment during the future. So those kind of things will create a lot of a beginner's thought process on a daily basis because you have to utilize your brain to make that decision, and especially on your prefrontal cortex and on your temporal lobe. Those two sections of your brain will ultimately determine on your thinking. And when people comes to the beginner's thought process, it's always involving with the consequences because they are not quite sure. They cannot predict how things may turn out if they make a such decision. If we making a lot of easy decision, let's say if we know, okay, purchase a lot of things, excessive buying stuff is not good for you, then you won't have any kind of beginner thought process because you know exactly buying a lot of things will cost you more and you will lose your saving on that way. So that doesn't require a beginner's thought process. Usually when you have a beginner's decision making or thought process is always involved with a big decision. And then, like I say, it's involved with consequences. So that's how the beginners has a relation with our decision making process. So in terms of our study also suggests that when people have more a beginner's thought process, is always coordinating relating to a lot of negative outcome. So, for example, if certain people have problem thinking, like say that let's say gambling is not right, or they thinking about doing the reckless driving. For example, they love to do reckless driving, going to speeding out, drive really fast. So when they drive really fast, they know the consequences, but they also will suffer from the big and start process because the outcome of driving really fast, if you become a reckless driver, you will suffer from consequences of getting a car accident, right? So this is a more complex thinking process that kind of involved with a beginners. A lot of risking behavior also will involve a beginner's thought process because a lot of people only thinking for the short-term gratification, drinking a lot, getting drunk, driving really fast, go on the freeway, all those kind of activity involved with a risky behavior. Stock market going into the risky investment. Um, those are also a good example of the risking behavior that involve with a beginner's process. So, try to make things more simply. Today, we are focusing on how a beginner's process involve have a relationship to our decision making, and how the a beginner's process will tend to how to interrupt our daily thinking process. So that's it for today. So today we covering this subject about beginners. I'm pretty sure that everybody in you know your daily everyday function lifestyle, you will involve many different type of beginner's thought process, which will be involving with more when you are getting older, when you have more responsibility in your life, when you start have kids, when you have family, and then when that things coming combined with your work, you will find yourself in a lot of a beginner's situation. So that's it for today. If you do have any question and comment about a beginner's thought process and how does that affect your brain function or your decision making process, you can always email me. This is a little bit complicated, but I'm willing to answer those questions that you may have. Okay, so that's it, and I will see you next time. Hope you have a good day. Bye bye.